What is the value of the digit 2 in the number 48.621? Now, after the point, we have the decimal places. The first decimal place is the 10th place. So because a 6 is there, we say 6/10. In the second decimal place, we have the 100th place, in other words. And so this is 200th. And in the third decimal place, we have 1. So that's 1,000th. So 1,000th place, in other words. So this 2 is actually in what? The 100th place, so it's 200th. So our answer is 1A. Question 2. What percentage of 50 is 10? So 10 out of 50 is what percentage, in other words? 10 divided by 50, and I'm going to multiply by 100% to get it in percentage. When multiplying two fractions, I can divide the numerator with denominator using a common factor. 50 in itself gives us 1, and 50 goes into 100 twice. Now I'm left with multiplying numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. 10 times 2, that's 20, over 1, which is simply 20%. Alright, now question 3. In standard notation, we have the number 0.02086. Now I want to write this number in standard notation. Another name for scientific notation, also called standard form. It must be written as a number between 1 and 10, multiplied by a power of 10. Now, where would we put the point? So this number, 0.02086, becomes a number between 1 and 10. Well, we'll put the number after the first non-zero digit. It will now be 2.086. You might ask, what happened to the zeros? Well, if we put the point after the 2 and we have zeros at the beginning, those will be useless. It still will be 2.086. So that's a number between 1 and 10. So now it's written as A. So right away, we realize we can cancel off what? B can cancel off D as well. Now times the power of 10. Now what power of 10 will we use? Well, we want to write a power of 10 so that we can actually get back to the original, which is actually have to move to the left, and so we use a negative. And since it's two places, our solution will be -2. So it's 2.086 times 10 to the -2 power. So our answer is going to be C. But the point I want to mention here is this, that once the numbers start with 0, it should be a negative power. And right away, you can cancel off the A, because we don't have a negative power there, right? We can cancel off the B, we can cancel off the D. Only C has a negative power. If the number of pupils is 840, so let's make a note of that, 840, how many teachers are there? So pupils to teachers is what? Is 20 to 1. And how many teachers are there if we have pupils being 840? So that's the question we're trying to find. So now these are equivalent ratios, right? 20 to 1 being equated to 840 to what? So in other words, what would we have to do to move from 20 to 840? What would we multiply by? In other words, we'll do the same thing to the 1. So in order to figure out what we multiply by, we do the reverse of multiplication, which is division. So 840 divided by 20 will give us what? Cancel off the zeros. And 2 into 84 goes 42 times. So we'll have to multiply by 42. So 20 times 42 will give us 840. And therefore 1 times 42, what do to one side, you do to the next, will give us the 42. So our answer is B. Alright, so for question 5, we're told that a bag of apples can be shared equally among either 6 children or 10 children or 15 children. The minimum, the smallest number of apples that is likely to be in the bag is which of these numbers? Well, let's start with the smallest number we're seeing there, which is 30. All right. If we have 6 children, can a bag of 30 apples shared equally among them? Let's see. We have 30 apples, want to share it equally among 6 children. Each child will get 5 apples. Let's look at 30 again. Can we share that set among 10 children? Each child will get 3 apples. And let's look at 30 again. Can we share it among 15 children? Because we have 15 children, want to share 30 apples equally among them. Each child will get 2. So basically, 30 works. And it's the smallest number we have there, so that will be the answer. The answer is A. So in other words, the LCM, the lowest common multiple of 6, 10, and 15 is 30. All right, so question number 6 is a really nice question. Very easy. If you look at what we're given here. Now, if you notice, the digits are the same. 43430 is 037037. So our solution will have the same digits, really. However, the point is not between 4 and 3. Where's the point in 43? Right at the end here. So in other words, they would have moved the point one place to the right. Now if you look at the 0.37, it's still 0.37 we have here. So since we have 0.37, 0.37, the 4.3 point is now at the end, they would have shifted the point one place to the right. So in our solution, all we need to do is shift the point one place to the right as well. So our answer is going to be 15 point. The point will now be here between 5 and 9. 15.91. And so our answer is B. When you look at this number here, right, there's no digit after point, so that's 0 dp. And this number here now, we have 2 dp, 2 decimal places, 2 digits after the point in other words. So because we're multiplying, we need to add the number of decimal places, which is going to be 0 plus 2, which is going to be 2 dp still. So where would we put the point? So it's 2 dp, right between the 5 and the 9. So that's another way of looking at it. Alright, so for number 7, we're told that x is a member of integers. Z here represents members that are integers, meaning you have like 0, you have -1, -2, and you keep on going the same sequence to the left. Keep on getting more and more negative. And as you go to the right, you get more and more positive, right? The number gets bigger, but in the same sequence. Okay, but let's get to the question at hand. So we're told that the x is a member of the set of integers such that x, if you're going to reading this way, is saying that -2 is less than or equal to x. So we're reading this way, we're saying what, x is greater than or equal to -2. But there's one thing I want to tell you quickly. A quick way of working out this question is this, look. This dash underneath implies we're going to include the number -2. And going to the right, this 4, notice that we have the dash underneath. Notice we have a dash underneath, means we're going to include what? We're going to include 4. So because we have a dash underneath both inequality symbols, we're going to include the n numbers, -4, -2, and 4. And the only option that has that is D. So x, remember x is a member of a set of integers. X is a member of the set of integers. This means member of. This symbol here means member of, or element of z. So x simply represent the numbers that are a member of z, the set of integers. Now, since x is greater than, go in this direction, because you meet the opening first, right? When you go in this direction. So you're seeing the opening means greater than. Once you go in this direction, you meet the small part, you're saying less than. So this is less than, and this is greater than. Once you go in this direction, and you meet the opening first. Hope that makes sense. Now here's the thing about it. So I'm saying here that x is greater than -2, but with the dash, I'm including -2. So that means if I'm going to list these numbers, I'm going to start with -2 because it's greater than -2 but equal to -2. So we're going to put equal to -2 involve -2, that is. Then going up, increasing, we have -1, then we have 0. Keep on adding 1, then we have 1, then we have 2, then we have 3, and so forth. But based on what we're told that x, right, this number x, right, there are these set of numbers represented by x, will be less than 4. But we're told to include 4 as well. So since we're going to include 4, we put 4 there. But we want numbers that are less than 4, which would be the 3, 2, 1, and so forth, going back that direction. So this is where we start with -2 and we end at 4. The numbers must include -2 and 4, but must be greater than -2, meaning these numbers, but less than 4, these numbers. Alright, so we're looking at question number 8. Item 8 refers to the following Venn diagram, which shows two intersecting sets, P and Q. In the Venn diagram, the number of elements in P is 5. The number of elements in Q, or in set Q, is 9. So we have 9 elements in this one, and we have 5 in this one. And the number of elements in the union of P and Q is 10. So altogether we have 5 in set P. In set Q we have 9. Alright, but when you add up the number of elements in both sets, you're going to get 10. But that's crazy because 5 plus 9 is 14. So that what's happening here? We have 14 when we add 5 and 9. But we're told we're supposed to really have 10 in both sets. So what do you think happened? There's overlapping. And we simply subtract the numbers to see what's overlapping. And that's 4. So 4 is the amount that's going to be in the intersection. So in other words, what we have here over this side of the Venn diagram is actually 1 in P only, belonging to P but not Q. So when we add the 1 plus the intersection of 4, the amount in the intersection, we're going to get 5. And since we have 4 in the intersection, how many should be in Q only? Members of Q but not P. That's going to be 5. So we add 5 plus 4 plus 1, we get the 10. And so our answer is really 4, the amount in the intersection. Now, yeah, our time is up, but let's just show you quickly how you can actually do this another way. We can also use the formula. You can think about the number of elements in the union. This symbol out here that looks like, which is an N. It means number of elements. And in bracket, we have the set in bracket to find the number of elements in. The number of elements in what? The union. So this little curve, that's a U, so it means number of elements in the union. Bringing together all the members of P and Q together. Alright, is equal to the number of elements in P, the number of elements in Q. But we realize that when we add them up, look guys, when we add up the 5 of P and the 9 of Q, we actually get 14, right? But we're told we're supposed to get what? 10 in the union. So obviously that doesn't make sense because 10 is not equal to 14. So that means we have to reduce this 14 by 4. We have to subtract 4 for that to work. So where does this 4 comes from for us to get 10? Well, it comes from the intersection that we are subtracting. Subtracting the intersection, which is P intersect Q. All right, that's the number of elements in the what? In the intersection. So that's the formula, guys. All right. So in the event that we did not know, or I didn't know this, that's we have 4 there. I can just put an x minus x and then solve for x. All right. So I'll transpose the x over and transpose the 10 over. So I'll have positive x over here, and the 14 put it back, and the 10 goes over as minus 10, and so we have x equal 4. But you guys see how I got it quickly, right? I just recognized that. Look, I'm supposed to have 10 in the union, but when I add 5 and 9, I got an extra 4 because I get 14. So let's subtract them, and that's going to be the intersection of 4. Quickly done within 20 seconds. All right, so for question 11, item 11 refers to the following Venn diagram, which shows 2 intersecting sets. The number of students in each set is indicated. Okay, so we can clearly see we have set H, and obviously, just like the previous question, set H in this case, number of elements in set H is going to be equal to 7, right? Which would be H only plus the intersection. Number of elements in V, set V, will be equal to the V only, those who play volleyball only, plus, the intersection, so that's going to be 6. So we know that we should have 7 up there, and we should have 6 here, right? Number of elements in those sets. But anyways, what was really asked though? H represents volleyball, no, hockey, sorry, and V stand for volleyball, right? Makes sense? Yeah, that makes sense based on the letters, right? Okay, so H for hockey, those students who play hockey. V for those who play volleyball. How many students play either hockey or volleyball, but not both? Now, number of elements in H union V really means the number of elements in H or V or both. I want you to understand what this is saying. H or V or both. Okay? But this is saying we don't want both. So we have to take out this. So our answer is going to be just the 5 plus the 4, which is 9. So our solution is really C. Alright? Why? Because when we take out the 2, the intersection, because I said we don't want what? But not both. Taking out the 2. So it's just hockey only and volleyball only, with the exception of the intersection. Okay? Remember we said early on, this means what? Number of elements in H. Alright? plus the number of elements in V minus the number of elements in H intersect V. But guess what? What we want the number of elements in H, which is going to be what's, well, it's 5 plus 2, right? Which would be 7. The V is what? It's 6, which is including section as well, because we're talking about in the circle of V, which is the 2 plus the 4, right? Right, in the circle of V, we have the 2 plus 4, so that's 6. But we want to take out the intersection, which is 2. All right, we want to take out the intersection. I think I'm going overboard with this. Let's stop here with this question. All right, so now we're going to look at question 12. It says here, the set of 2-digit positive integer that are divisible by 7 is an example of which type of set? Improper mean that it's a set of itself, right? All right, so if you have a subset, if you have a set and it's a subset of itself, we say it's an improper set. For example, if we have the set 1, 2, and 5 with elements 1, 2, and 5, right? 1, 2, and 5 is an improper subset, okay, of the set 1, 2, and 5. An infinite set meaning, you know, infinite means what? What infinite means? Goes on forever, right? So it means that we won't be able to list all the members. We'll die, and somebody else can always pick up and continue. We'll never end in. Empty set means you have no members in the set, and finite set means you can list the members, of course. So the set of 2-digit positive integers. So 2 digits mean we start. What's the first 2-digit number? 10. All right, and then we continue. Well, 11, 12, and we end at 99. Right, those are 2-digit numbers. But the ones that are integers, of course, we're talking about whole numbers, no fractional parts, but are divisible by 7. Well, the numbers that are divisible by 7 within this are finite, because it's restricted. So it's a finite set. So now our time is up, so I can do a little explanation on it though, for you to understand. What numbers are divisible by 7? Let's see if we can figure them out. But we're not going to list all of them, mind you. We know that 7 is divisible by itself, right? No, 7 is divisible by itself, but 7 is not a 2-digit number. It's a single digit. So 7 will not enter into this set. The next multiple of 7 is 14. That's the first 2-digit number. That's a multiple of 7. 7 can be divided by itself. It's a multiple of itself, but it's a single digit. Then we have 21 is divisible by 7. 28, 35, right? And we perhaps go right up to 98, but we can't list anymore. Okay, so if you divide 98 by 7, 7 goes to 1, 7 goes into 9 once, remain the 2, 728 4 times. So that's actually 14. So 7 goes into 98 14 times. So yes, 7 can actually enter that. Okay, so basically guys, that's it for that number. I elaborated a bit so you can understand. Let's go down to number 13 now. Alright, so question 13. For every $100 sales or part thereof, a salesman is paid $10 as commission. So for every $100 this guy makes in sales, they're paying him what? $10. If his sales for a particular month were what? $1,020. How much commission will he be paid? All right, so for every $100, this guy gets what? $10. For every $100, he gets $10. Okay, so for instance, if he made $200, how much will he get? Twice as many, right? He'll get $20. If he makes $300, he'll get $30, because for every $100, he gets $10. So how many $100 will be in 1,020? That's the question. All right, because every $100 that goes into this amount, he's getting $10. So 1,020 divided by 100 to figure out how many $100 he'll be getting, and for every one of them he'll be getting $10 times that amount. All right, well, times $10 basically. So for every $100 that goes into 1020, he's getting a $10 for each of them. So we multiply by 10. So now to work this out, we basically cancel, right? Divided by 10. 10 to 10 goes once. 10 into 100 goes 10 times. Then 10 into 10 goes once. And 10 into this goes 102 times. So the answer is C. All right, so we're looking at question 13. A salesman, all right, for every $100 of sales, a salesman is paid $10 as commission for every $100 of sales. So this guy, makes sales for every $100 he makes. He's getting what amount as commission? $10. All right. Now, if his sales for a particular month were 1,020, so let's say he makes $1,020. How much will he make in commission? That's the big question. Remember, for every $100 this guy is making, they're paying him what? $10. And so if he made 1,020 in sales, how much money he made in commission? So you're basically trying to figure out, okay, how many $100 will he be getting? Well, we're going to divide what? The 1,020 by 100 to see how many $100. And for each of those $100, he's getting $10. So we multiply by 10. And that's the amount he'll be getting in commission. All right. Now let's simplify this. Cancel 0, cancel 0. That means we're dividing by 10. Cancel 0, cancel 0. Divided by 10 as well. We're left with 102. So our answer is C. All right, question 14. All right, so now we're going to look at question 14. We have 90 seconds. The simple interest on $600 for T years at 5% per annum is $120. So we're told that the simple interest is $120. Simple interest is the subject, the simple interest on the investment. So this is our principal that we invest in, $600 for T years. So we have a time there, and at 5% per annum. So that's our rate, principal, time, and rate. And this is our interest, simple interest, I. Now, the formula is, just remember this, 100I equals PRT. Just remember this formula. Like 100 eyes on 3 friends, 3 models, P, R, and T. If you can remember that formula, it's easy to just move from there. Now, let's say you want to find I. You divide by 100 on both sides. So I would be equal, if you divide both sides by 100, you get I equals PRT over 100. But in this case, we want to find T, right? What's the value of T? So we have to get rid of the PR. But because they're all multiplying, to remove them, the P and R, we use division, the reverse of multiplication. We do that to both sides. So PR gets cancelled, PR gets cancelled. So T is equal to 100 times the I, which is the interest of 120, over P, which is 600, times R, which is 5. And that solution is B. All right, good stuff. Remember, my explanation is included, so it will be under a minute. All right. I mean, I showed you how to find I, for instance. So if you were doing it, you're not going to be doing that, right? Now let's do the last one, which is 15, and then we look at a part 2 video where we go from 16 up to 30, then 31 to 45, then 46 to 60. All right. So let's do them in stages. 3 sets. All right, so now we're looking at question 15. At a bank, EC 2060 cents is equivalent to US $1. So you're told that EC 2060 cents is equivalent to US what? $1. For every US dollar exchange, 10 cents is deducted as an exchange tax. So they're charging these people for exchanging the money. All right, exchanging your US to EC. You're gonna be taxed. So for every US dollar you exchange, they're taking out EC $10. Okay, so it means what you could do with this. All right, and he's one of my students who gave me this lovely answer. All right, our explanation. For every US dollar exchange, 10 cents is deducted. So we look at the exchange rate. US $1, right? EC 260. So if we take off 10 cents for every US dollar, we take out what? 10 cents. We're gonna left with 250. And so in this case now, it says, how many EC dollars will Leon receive if he exchange US $1,000? So for $1,000, guys, for $1,000, I'm gonna have to do this one because of time. I run out of time. Okay, let's start over. All right, so we're looking at question 15. It says at a bank, EC $2.60 is equivalent to US $1. So this is what we call the exchange rate, right? That's going to be the exchange rate. And for every US dollar exchange, EC 10 cents. We're going to keep that in mind. All right, we have EC 10 cents deducted for every US dollar that you exchanged. That's the exchange tax, right? All right, this is the tax that comes out. Every US dollar you exchange to EC, you get 10 cents deducted from your change. How many EC dollars will Leon receive if he exchanges 1,000? Okay, so here's the thing. There are two ways we can actually do this. Well, he exchanged $1,000, right? So he exchanges $1,000, but remember, 10 cents comes off. So rather than using $1 to 260, we're going to take off 10 cents from the EC dollars. So that's going to be US $1. Right? For every US dollar, the exchange rate, the actual exchange rate will be 250 really coming out. All right, so for question 15, we're told that at a bank, we have EC what? 260 to 1 US, all right? And every US dollar exchange, for every US dollar exchange, what you're really getting is not 260, you're getting 10 cents deducted. So that means you're really getting back what? 250. That's what you're really getting back, okay? So you're not going to receive $2.60 for every dollar. You're going to get back dollar. So sorry, you're going to get $2.50 for every US dollar that you exchange. So for 1,000 US dollar that you exchange, what's your EC equivalent? Well, it's $1 to $2.50. All right. So to move from 1 to 1,000, you multiply by 1,000, right? So to move from 250 to the answer, you multiply by 1,000 as well. And what's that going to be? So you have 2.5 and multiplying by 1,000. That means you can move the point 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to put the 0 right here. Point goes at the end. So you're left with 2,500. That's going to be the solution. Just remember that, you know, you really should be getting $2,600 really, right? Not the 2,500. You were getting 2,600. But obviously they take out 10 cents, which is really $100 coming out of your money. So you're really getting $2,500. All right. Okay. So question 16. All right. So question 16. We're told that the calculator is marked $120, is sold for cash at 30% discount. So you have $120, and you're getting the discount of 30%, which is 30 per 100. All right. $30 for every $100. All right. So what 30% means in this case. So how much change would Susan receive if she pays for the calculator with a $100 bill? So we want to keep that in mind. She gave the cashier $100 bill to pay for the amount that the calculator costs. Of course, minus the discount. Discount meaning that she's not gonna pay 30% of the cost. You're actually getting a discount. 30% off, in other words. So we do this by, we have multiples of 10 here, right? So we can divide by 10, cancel the 0, in other words, divide 100 by 10, leave us with 10. Can we simplify any further? Yes. The numerator with denominator again. We can cancel off this 0 with this 0 here, right? Divided by 10, in other words. And so we have 12 times 3, which is 36. So $36 is the discount. All right. But what's the cost of the calculator? The cost of the calculator is $120, and we're taking off $36. All right. So we're gonna subtract 1, leave us with 1, and 6 from that give us 4, and 3 from 11 give us 8. So that's $84. All right. So now you paid the cashier, or you give the cashier $100 to pay for the cost of the calculator, which is $84, less the discount, of course. All right. So 100 minus 84. All right. That would be what? That would be 16. 4 from 10, that's 6. And 8 from 9, that's 1. That's $16. Answer is A. All right. So let's see if we can actually do this faster. All right, so we're told the calculator is marked $120. That's what you see on the calculator, the cost of the calculator. All right, and if you pay for cash, if you pay for the calculator by cash, you're gonna get 30% off. So how much change should Susan receive if she pays for the calculator with a $100 bill? In other words, she's paying cash. So she's gonna get 30% off. So we need to find out what is that discount amount. So $120, and we find 30% of it. 30% means 30 over 100, and we simplify. Let's simplify, cancel off. All right, so we can cancel the zeros by dividing both by 10. And we can also divide this by 10 and this by 10. So dividing 120 by 10 give us 12, and dividing 10 by 10 give us 1. 12 threes, that's 36. So the discount is $36. So you should have paid $120, but you're getting $36 off of that, and that will give us $84. All right. Now, if you pay the cashier, give the cashier $100, but the cost to you is $84. What's the change you'll be getting? $16. So the answer is A. All right, now if you want to see how I work out this in terms of the calculation, we can say 6 from 0 we can't, so we borrow 1 from the, let's do it this way. Let's write it this way, 120. Borrow 1 from the 2, leave us with 1. Put 1 here by the 10, by the 0 give us 10. 6 from 10 is 4. And 3 from 1, you can't, so put a 0 here, put a 1 here. So 3 from 11, that's 8. If you want to think of it that way. And 4 from 0, can't, you borrow 1 from the 1 here, leave a 0, put a 1 here. 4 from 0 still can't, borrow 1, put a 9 here, and carry the 1 there. 4 from 10 give us 6, and 8 from 9 give us 1. Alright, just in case you need some help with that. So remember, this is a discount, the 30%. The cost of calculator should have been 120, but they took off 36 as discounts. So this is the amount you're paying, 84. You gave the cashier $100, and she took out $84, and she'll give you this as your change. A quicker way to do this though, if you should have paid 120, okay, this is going to be a quicker way. Let me just show you that to you quickly. I'm getting right to your answer. You should have paid $120, but they took off what? 30%. So you should have paid 100%, but they took off 30%. So you're in fact paying just 70% of the cost. So if you find 70% of the 120, you get the exact cost right away. So divided by 10, divided by 10, divide by 10, and divide by 10. Numerator with denominator only. 7 12s, that's 84. Right, that gives us a cost. Because the cost of a calculator is actually 70%. And we found that, which is $84. Gave the cashier $100. And the cashier took out the $84. And then you're left with a change of $16. Alright, and I showed you how to calculate that early on. See, if we're from 0, you can't. So you go over your bar to 1, put it here. Still can't borrow the 1, put 9, put the 1 here. And then, okay, we can see, that's 10, right? 4 from 9 is 6, and then 8 from 9 is the 1. So that's going to be $16. Now for you wanted to see how I got this 7 times 12. I mean, person might wonder how I got 84. If you don't know 7 times table, the 12 times table, or your 7 times table, you can say 7 times 2 is 14, 7 1 7, and 1 4, and 1 8, sorry. It's 84. As easy as that. But let's get on with the actual question, which is question number 17. Let's begin. Now, we're told here that what? A man pays 60 cents for every 200 meter cube of gas used, plus a fixed charge. If he pays 178.75 when he uses 55,000 meter cube of gas, how much is his fixed charge? That means the fixed charge is included in the $178.75. Isn't that so, guys? Yeah. He pays 178.75 when he uses 55,000. So the amount he pays will always include the fixed charge. But what amount would it be though? For what amount would it be for 55,000 cubic meters of gas used? All right, remember it's 60 cents. Let's write it down. 60 cents for every 200 meter cube used. All right, so how much is it for 55,000 meter cube used? So what we can do here, all right, is to find out how many 200 meter cube of gas is used in this. So you're going to divide 55,000, in other words, by 200 meter cube to find out how many 200 meter cube you have in that. And then to get the cost, you multiply by 60 cents. So to this, we're going to cancel off the zeros, all right, by dividing by 10 twice. And then we can say 2 into 2 goes once. 2 into 60 cents, of course, is 30 cents. All right. I'm going to do this over because it's time was up too quickly. Must find a shorter way. Let's find a shorter way to do this. All right, question number. So looking at question number 17. And for question 17, we're told a man pays 60 cents for every 200 meter cube of gas used, plus a fixed charge. Right? So just want to keep that in mind. So he pays what? 60 cents. That's all right, 60 cents. Dollar signs, we have $0 and 60 cents for every what? 200 meter cube of gas used. If he pays 178.75 when he uses 55,000. So he's using 55,000. So I want to have the 55,000 meter cube on the same side that I have the 200 meter cube, and put the dollars on the same side, right? But I'm not sure the amount that will cost him. All right, in addition to the fixed charge. Remember, the fixed charge is in addition to the cost to him. All right, so let's find out the actual cost for 55,000 meter cube of gas, and then we're gonna add the fixed charge to it. Now, what we can do here, guys, okay, so let's try to figure out how many 200 meter cube can actually enter into the 55,000 meter cube. How many of it? And for every 200 meter cube that enters it, he pays what? 60 cents. So we're gonna say, okay, 55,000 divided by 200 times the 60 cents. All right, and 60 cents is really 60%, so I can even write that. Now my time is up, but I'm going to just continue since I had to do a lot of explanation there before I even start the working per se. All right, so 60 cents, I'm going to change that to 60%, because 60 cents is the same as 60%, and 60% means 60 over 100. And think about it, guys. If I divide 60 by 100, the point is going to move to the left, right? So I'm going to get 0.60, which is really 0.60. So 60 cents in that sense. All right. So 60 cents is same as 60 over 100. Now, to do it's way easier to work this out now. Check this out. I can divide by a lot of zeros here. Multiples of 100 are 10. 10 can go into 200 20 times, and 10 can go into 66 times. We can say 10 goes into 20 2 times, and 10 goes into 5500 times. So notice I'm constant off zeros, and 100 goes into itself once, knocking off the 2 zeros. 100 goes into this, and knock off these 2 zeros too. All right, and then I can say 2 into 2 goes once, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So all I'm left with is what? 55 times 3. 3 5s 15. 3 5s 15 and 1 16. So it's 165. I put on the 2 zeros at the end because I'm talking about money here. So this amount, X really here is what? What's X here? X is really what? The cost for using 55,000 meter cube of gas is $165. Now this is not including the what? This is not including the fixed charge. But we're told that this guy paid what? $178.75 when he used this amount. So that amount obviously included the what? Fixed charge, because this is the actual amount for 55,000 used before the fixed charge. So all we need to do is to find out the fixed charge. How much is this fixed charge? Is to subtract. So we have 178.75, and we're going to subtract the 165. All right, and that will leave us with what? $13.75. Hope that makes sense. All right, so for this particular question, what we need to do is recognize, okay, this guy is paying 60 cents, right? 60 cents for every 200 meter cube of gas used. And we want to try to find out, okay, how much is he paying, or would he pay, for 55,000 meter cube of gas used? We're told he actually paid what amount? $178.75 in total, which includes the fixed charge. All right, but we want to find out what amount would he have to pay before the fixed charge. In other words, what amount he will be paying for 55,000 without the fixed charge. Remember, it's 60 cents for every 200 meter cube plus a fixed charge. We're told here, this is saying plus, right? This is saying plus a fixed charge. So the 60 cents here does not include the fixed charge. So the amount we're trying to figure out here should not include the fixed charge as well. Okay, so how many times 200 can enter 55,000? Because for every 200 meter cube, he pays 60 cents. So how many 60 cents will he be paying? Well, it's how many times 200 can enter 55,000. So we put 55,000 divided by 200 to see how much time 200 can enter it, and he'll be paying 60 cents for each of those. Now 60 cents can be written as 60 over 100 because we have this is in the 100th place. The 6 and the 0. The 6 in the 10th place, the 0 is in the 100th place. So we can rewrite that 60 cents as 60 over 100. Try with a calculator. Divide 60 by 100 and see if you do not get 0.6. And 0.6 is the same as 0.60. You can add any amount of zeros, doesn't matter. Because 6 is in the 100th place, in the 10th place still. Okay, so now what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to simplify this. This will be the amount he is paying before, right? Before the fixed charge, before fixed charge. Now, I noticed that the time ran out, but that's fine because I'm doing a lot of explanation here, right? This, the amount to be paying before the fixed charge. Remember again, for every $200 that goes into this 55,000, he's paying what? 60 cents, because it's $200 for every, sorry, it's 200 meter cube, or should I say 60 cents for every 200 meter cube. 60 cents for every 200 meter cube. So how many meter cube how many 200 meter cube we're gonna have? That's where we're dividing to say much times how many times 200 meter cube can enter 55,000. And when we get that amount, every one of them will be multiplied by 60 cents. So we just simply multiply by the 60 cents here. Now when we calculate that, what amount do we get? Which is very easy here. When we divide by 10, we cancel off numerator and denominator zeros at the end. Divide by 10 again. Divide by 10. Again, we cancel numerator with denominator. And we divide by 10 again, so with the numerator, denominator. Now we can cancel the 2 with 6, so 2 goes into 2 once, and then 6 3 times. So we're left with 3 times 55. Let's work that out. 55 times 3. 3 5s 15. 3 5s 15 and 1 16, so 165. Alright guys, 165. Now here's the thing. This is the amount before what? 60 cents for every 200 meter cube, and 60 cents is prior to what? The fixed charge, because it's plus a fixed charge in addition to the 60 cents. So this amount that we found as x, because x is what we worked out a while ago, which is 165. So this does not include the fixed charge. This amount he paid includes the fixed charge. So what is the fixed charge, therefore? Alright, hopefully you guys understand that, but I can clarify it quickly in 10 seconds. He should have, okay, before the fixed charge, the amount it cost him, 55,000, without the fixed charge is $165. But this is the amount he had to pay. So this amount includes the fixed charge. And this is the amount he's paying for the 55,000 without the fixed charge. So the fixed charge is what amount? Obviously the difference between them. So it's 175 minus 165. When you subtract them, you're going to get what? You're going to get 1375. The answer is A. So the previous question, took a little while, but again, we finished some questions quite quickly. So that's why the average is 90 seconds, but some questions you may take a little over 90 seconds, and some you'll take way less than 90 seconds. So it averages out to 90 seconds. All right. So 18, a plot of land presently valued at 12,000 appreciates. And appreciate means what? The value goes up by what? 2.5% every year. Now, what will be the value of the plot of land 1 year later? So it just goes up by 2.5. Just 1 year this ended. So the cost is 12. The value of it is not called the value is $12,000, and it appreciates by what? 2.5%, which means what? 2.5%, right? And so let's see how we can do this. Find 2.5%. Well, we can find what? 2.5%. We can find 2%, then find 0.5%. All right, but let's look at 12,000. 2%. We can find 1% first. What's 1%? Okay, so let's start. We're told that what? We're told that, oh God. Question 18. Well, we're told that a plot of land, right? We're told that a plot of land All right, so we're told that what? We're told that a plot of land presently valued at 12,000 appreciates in value at a rate of 2.5% per annum. What will be the value of the plot of land 1 year later? So we have $12,000 as the value of this land. So I'll find 1% first. When you're finding 1%, you move the point 2 places inwards. So that's 1%. If it's 10%, you move it 1 place inwards. When it's 1%, you move it 2 places inwards. You can think of it like 100%, right? And you want to find 1%. So you move the point 1 place inwards, that's 10%. Another 1 place inwards, that's 1%. So to find 1%, you move the point 2 places inwards. So to find 1% of 12,000, 2 places inwards, the point will go here, and that's $120. Another 1% will obviously be the same 120. And a half percent will be half of 1%. What's a half of 120? 60. Okay, you can think of a half of 12 is 6. Okay, so 60. So now I have my 2.5%, obviously, which is what? We can just add these up. Give 0. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1, that's 3. $300. Okay, so the answer will be the 12,000 plus the 300. Okay, it goes up by $300. Okay, so that's my solution. 12,300. Remember, it appreciates, guys. So the value goes up. So we're not going to reduce it. Depreciates, it goes down. So we subtract. Appreciates, goes up. So we add. It values 12,000 and it goes up by 300. So the value of it is 12,300. Question what? Question number 19. Alright, so here's a good thing. You guys can read the questions and then I'll just go straight ahead and work them out. Alright, so you can pause the video, read the question. But we're told here that, you know, somebody got a loan and this loan is $8,000. So you got to pay back this loan plus interest, of course. Alright, when you're paying the loan, you have to pay back interest. Alright, and then when you add the loan plus the interest, that's a total payment, right? The total payment to you. When you add the loan plus the interest, you have to pay back the loan, but you're paying some extra dollars for borrowing the money. That's how they make a profit. Whoever you're borrowing the money from, they're gonna make a little profit. They call it interest. So what's the total payment? Well, here how it works. They're saying here that in 2 years' time, you're paying $400 monthly for 2 years. So we know that 2 years, how many months we have in 2 years, guys? Well, it's 12 months per year. And this is 2 years, would be 24 months. Right? 24 months. Okay, let's start the timer. Okay, So 2 years time, you're paying 12 times 2, which is 24 months. And since 24 months, how much you're paying in 24 months? You're paying $400 per month for 24 months. And so this will give you what amount? 4 times 24, that's 96. So that's 9600, okay? Remember, it's 400 can be written as 4 times 100, right? That's 400 multiplied by 24. So you're saying 4 times 24, which is 96, times 100, 9600, in other words. Just a little break it down for you. Okay, so yes, this will be the total payments, all right, over that 2-year period, $9,600. They didn't mention any other cost to you. So that means what amount, therefore, you would have paid in interest? Well, since you have to add interest to loan to get the total, then the reverse of addition is subtraction. So the interest, therefore, will be the difference between the total payment and the amount you borrowed. Just do the reverse to get the one you're missing, right? So that's going to be $1,600. That's going to be the interest. All right. So the interest as a percentage of the loan, you put 600. That's the interest over the loan, which is 8,000, and then find the percentage multiplied by 100%. And this is easy now, guys. Well, you can divide by 10, cancel, cancel, divide by 10 again, cancel, cancel, divide by 10 again, cancel, cancel. Now 8 goes in itself once, and 8 goes into 16 twice, and 2 times 10 is 20. So the answer is D, 20%. As easy as that. So just a little clarity here. This is the interest, guys. How we know this is the interest? The $1,600? Because you're paying $9,600 when you really borrowed $8,000. So you paid an extra amount of what? $1,600. That's called the interest. And writing the interest as a percentage, interest on the loan as a percentage, means interest over the loan. Right? You're trying to find out what percentage of a loan you paid in interest. You put the interest on top over the loan, which is 8,000, and multiply by 100% to convert that to percentage. So that's what I got here, over here. And in canceling, these cancel off, 0 cancel 0 here. 8 goes into 16 twice, and 2 times 10 is 20. Alright, this we get is 20%. Now let's look at question number 20. They said they want the profit as a percentage of the cost price. So it means you're going to have the profit. Alright, you're going to have the profit. We involve in two things, profit and cost price. So profit over cost price. You're expressing the profit as a percentage of the cost price. So profit goes on top, cost price below, and multiply by 100%. If you want to express A as a percent of B, you put A over B times 100%. That means you're expressing A as a percentage of B. Okay, remember that. So it's profit expressed as a percentage of cost price. Alright, now we should actually restart this, since I'm giving a little explanation that's a little different. So that sometimes that happens because I'm giving additional information. We're gonna not start as yet. Alright, so now let's do this quickly. But what's the profit though? We also know that profit can be found by doing what? Profit can be found by taking the selling price and subtracting the cost price. If you're making a profit, your selling price has to be greater than your cost price. So it's 175 minus 125. All right, and that's gonna be $50, right? Remember, if you have 175 and you subtract 125, you get this amount. That should be simple. 5 from 5 is 0, 2 from 7 is 5, and 1 from 1 is 0. So this, leave it as 50. All right, so the profit is 50. So I'm gonna put 50 over the cost price of what? It was bought for 125, so that's our cost price, 125. And I multiply it by 100% as seen in the formula. So what's our solution there, guys? Well, for a fact, we can divide by, let's divide by 25. All right, We know 5 goes into, 25 goes in this twice. And think about $1.25. How many 25 cents that is? We're at 4.25 cents give you $1, right? And we're gonna have an extra 25 cents. So that's 5.25 cents give you 1.25. So this goes 5 times. 5 goes into itself once. 5 goes into 10 2 times. So 5 into 100 goes 20 times. 2 times 20 is 40. That's 40%.